Hello everyone and welcome to episode 26 of Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Jake Lewitt.
And I am Mark Hoffmeyer.
And joining us this week we have a Deep Blue Sea superfan, Paige. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Happy to have you here. Always good to talk to somebody who loves the film as much, possibly more than we do. Yeah, we'll find out soon.
Yeah, you loved Deep Blue Sea before it was, well, it's still not cool to love Deep Blue Sea. So basically we're the few kind of out there saying we love this movie, because I guess Deep Blue Sea hasn't become the, hey, wait, like everyone didn't wake up one day and go, hey, this is a good movie. So we're still promoting this thing.
It had to build some momentum over the years for sure, because it's been 21 years. I do kind of consider it a cult classic at this point, because I mean, maybe I'm just in my own little bubble, but I know a lot of people that like this movie.
Oh, yeah. You know what I think? There's a couple things that are going for it. You have the Sam Jackson death, which, whenever you do a surprise death in movies, that's going to make the list. If you leave it out, you're being cute. And then whenever a new shark movie comes out, there's a list of shark movies, and Deep Blue Sea is pretty much always on the top 10 shark movies. So it keeps coming up in conversation, I guess, around those two things. I think that's helped it, I would say. And the Chappelle sketch.
Wait, there's a Chappelle sketch?
For sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, where he's advertising beer, and then he gets eaten by a shark.
Wow, throwback.
Yeah, I'm old. It's cool. So how about the double whammy in this scene that we're talking about today in Deep Ride? Did you, so we're listening to the commentary. Rennie Harlan's talking. He's like, we had to put a double whammy in the scene. So I sound like Jean-Claude Van Damme, sorry. That's actually the best Jean-Claude Van Damme I've ever done. That's I'll never repeat that. That was really wonderful. But yeah, so the fake shark comes up, the Chekhov shark, and then the real one. I love a good double whammy in movies. And I've never even called it a double whammy before. Rennie Harlan started that. So, I don't know, I love that in this scene. He dropped a double whammy on us. It makes me happy.
He did, and I like that it was a jump scare and then the actual scare, because I wasn't actually prepared for a real scare when I first saw this movie.
Oh yeah, what were your thoughts the first time you watched it?
Okay. My history with this movie goes back pretty far. So I was 7 when it came out. And so, it's kind of always been there. And it's one of those movies my parents would watch. It would be on TV, so they'd always put it on. We had the old cardboard DVD. So I'm 7 years old, and you watch this movie and you're 7, you're just scared of sharks. So I love sharks now. I'm literally obsessed with sharks. But when I saw this movie, it made me so scared of sharks. And I will always have this insane fear of drowning in the ocean. I'll never get over that. So this movie is simultaneously a dream and my worst nightmare.
Wow, no one drowns in this film. It's all
I know. I think it's more being trapped underwater.
So random. So I saw this movie when I was 17 and I really enjoyed it. But as a 7-year-old, Rennie Harlan brags a lot about how this movie has sharks in living rooms and kitchens. You weren't worried about land sharks, were you, at 7 coming at you?
No, not land sharks, but when I'm in someone's pool, you're always thinking, oh, there's a shark in the deep end. I'm not going to go in the deep end.
Or if you're in Minnesota in a lake, you're there's a shark underneath me right now.
There's a shark in any large body of water that can fit a shark.
That's one thing movies have taught me. It's that.
So, particularly large.
So apparently, because there's a shark in her freaking room, obviously just hiding in the corner, and she locks the door. How you're not supposed to be scared of that? It just pops up out of nowhere.
Isn't that amazing though? That shark, it's in there waiting for her to open up her locker to get the research.
How
Literally,
long?
it's so smart. Oh my god, that's just genius right there. Just waiting in her quarters. How long was it waiting there?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you got? So a couple hours? An hour? Because we haven't seen it.
You guys have to do. You're the ones that do the math in this movie. You guys have to figure it out.
Well, this is happening at the same time, roughly,
as
the Gen 2 shark is eating Scoggins and coercing Carter into flooding that level. So I think I tried to work out, what is this shark even doing here? What is its plan? Why is it in Susan's room? And I reckon it's trying to get the data destroyed. So we know that the sharks know where the data is. They were spying on her in the porthole early in the film. They know it's in her locker. So the shark's waiting for her to open the locker because it wants to destroy the data, because it needs them to go back down to the wet lab where the computers are, there may be a second copy of the data. So they need to go back down into that lab, because that's where they're going to flood the level that Carter just flooded. So this shark doesn't know that Carter just flooded that other level. Or it hasn't happened yet. We don't know. It happened concurrently.
There's just so many levels to this movie.
Whoa.
It's insane.
The sharks are way more intelligent than anyone has ever given them any credit for. There's layers upon layers of plans. So this shark, it's not trying to kill Susan. I mean, we've established the sharks all hate Susan. So if they kill her, great. They're not going to complain. It's a snack. But if it's mainly after the data.
Yeah. And just waiting.
She's a snack in more ways than one.
Just like it's just sitting there. I wish I had a wristwatch or a fin watch and just look at it. It's just patiently, and it walks right by her. It walks right by the sharks. Wait, the shark doesn't walk right by.
She walks by.
That'd be interesting. Imagine that. That's like Michael Myers right there, just walking through shrubbery.
That is land shark, isn't it?
Yeah. What would be scarier, Michael Myers or a land shark that was as mobile as Michael Myers? Is that a question you ever thought you'd be asked?
Michael Myers, because I like sharks, so I would just think it was cute, and I would just like want to hug it. I wouldn't be scared of sharks. I'm not scared of sharks anymore.
Is the shark wearing a William Shatner mask?
It's wearing a one-piece jumper that it stole from an auto shop, but it didn't find a mask that worked.
Then Michael Myers is scary. That's the scary component. Is the reversed painted Shatner mask.
Wait, so you're a mask guy? Like, does Freddy Krueger scare you? Well, I guess he wears a burnt mask.
He doesn't wear a mask. He just needs to got a burnt face. That's his face mark.
It's a great point you bring up, Jay.
But Jim Carrey terrifies me.
Wait, Jim Carrey?
From The Mask.
In The Mask?
Yeah.
1994.
Come on, Mark.
Wow. That was a blockbuster. His run back then was insane.
It was, yeah.
The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura 2. Let's do the Jim
Can I go
Carrey
back
podcast.
Can I go back to like my history with this movie?
Yes,
Because
please.
I have
Get
a
us back
lot
on
to
track.
say.
I'll be quiet.
Before we start into a Jim Carrey podcast. So yeah, I'm 7 years old, and honestly, it was like the best movie I've ever seen. When I was like, I would watch it like all the time because it's just so like entertaining. Like I don't have to like understand like the whole like plot just to like watch it over and over. And just the sharks were so like, it seemed so realistic at the time, and they still have like better effects than most recent shark movies. Like it's just like it's almost like a timeless like action movie. Like maybe I'm just biased, but I just can't get sick of it at all.
Oh, you're in the right company.
And like also I'm 7 years old, and there's like a gorgeous like Tom Jane, running around soaking wet. And then I also realized because of this movie that I also liked women, because Saffron Burrows in this scene we're talking about is so hot. I'm like, so I'm watching this, I'm like, yeah, I think I like women too. Oh my goodness, thanks Rennie Harlan for the gratuitous scene.
Oh, so the gratuitous nudity wasn't entirely in vain. Some good came from it.
Some good came from it.
Something awakened inside of you. It's because we were a little trepidatious coming towards this scene that is it's the scene where, hey, let's make Saffron Burrows get her kit off. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, they could have gone a million different ways. Like, how would you think of electrocuting a shark? Like, only this would come from like Rennie Harlan's brain.
Mm-hmm. So he blames a studio executive on it. But
really?
He's like, yeah, studio executive wanted it. And then he's like, of course, Saffron Burrows blamed me for it. And then she told a funny story on Dinner for Five, this old Jon Favreau show where she was interviewed, where she learned about this scene like the day before, or like a week before. She didn't even know about it when she signed up. And they were going to shoot this. She didn't want to do it. So they cast a double for her. And then she was like, no, I don't want you casting a double because who knows how much you're going to show of this double. So then she did the scene herself to control like what people saw overall. So yeah, she didn't want to double doing it. She didn't want to do the scene, but she also didn't want to show more than like what she thought. So she stayed in and did the scene and wiped out the shark, who slammed right into that cable. Smart shark.
It could have been a lot more gratuitous. I mean, like we said, she keeps her underwear on. That's good. And there's not a lot of like pervy shots of her. There's no like camera starting at her ankle going all the way up slowly while she's posing. It almost makes sense. It doesn't quite make. I think she would have been fine. She's on a
I
wooden.
mean, he gets like minimum props for that, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to get the best out of this as I
props
can. I'm saying if this was a Michael Bay film, it would be significantly worse than it currently is.
Yeah.
But like, weren't her shoes rubber?
Yes.
Wasn't that enough?
Yes. Her shoes are rubber. There is no reason for her to take off her wetsuit. She's also still on a wooden table, and she's like clinging to a concrete wall. These are all insulators. So.
Man. Yeah, so I was thinking, like, how else could she have killed this thing in this room? She couldn't get into the oven or a microwave.
Well,
That's already been done.
Don't lock the door for one.
Yeah.
Like right behind you.
But that was smart because she was. What are the chances of the shark being in the room? You know, of all the places the shark could be, it's unlikely to be at. Is there another? There must be some other route into the room because the shark couldn't have got here via the non-submerged walkway that she had to take. So there must be some kind of second entrance. So she could have scoped that out to check. Well, that was damaged first. But time's limited. There are deadly sharks around. I would have locked the door too. I thought it was a smart move because it's unlikely there's going to be a shark in there. It's just kind of unfortunate that hey, there's a shark in there with her, and the door is now locked.
So
In the deep end of the room, yes.
Of the
Just
huge
waiting.
room. It's a giant room. This room is massive.
Well, she's the boss.
True, yeah.
She
And
gets
it's
the
like
big
her,
room.
her study/bedroom.
But so I recently put up this thing on Reddit, and it did really well. I just ranked every door opening and closing in Deep Blue Sea, and I actually found 39 of them. I originally had a list with 28, and I went back through it. Talk about never getting sick of this movie, and I found 39
10
instances. Yeah, and I put it up on Reddit, and a conversation started about, hey, do sharks talk, and like, do these sharks communicate with each other? But I think this scene proves that the two are on, like, they can communicate with each other. There's a system between these sharks. Like, it's not telepathy. They're not like speaking a language. Like, obviously the shark knows to go in there and wait until she opens up her locker and then destroy the research. So that was communicated amongst the sharks. So how did they get that across?
Huh. We haven't considered this before. There's clearly a plan. How did they discuss this plan? It's clearly the Gen 2's plan. How did the Gen 1s find out about it? This is,
And sorry, Paige, if you have more history with this movie, we can go back to that.
Oh no.
I'm like a pinball machine.
Mark, we're on Talking
I bounce
Sharks
all
now.
over the place.
I know. I've listened to like most of the episodes by now just to like get a feel for it, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why?
Me desperately
Why?
trying to get Mark back on track with the film.
Yeah.
We hit the
But this
50-minute
is
How
mark,
did the
haven't touched
sharks
the chapter.
communicate? No, this is
a
an
good
important
question,
question.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
They have they're working like pincer movements from Tenet on these people, and it's just also if you're at home, watch a movie called Jay. You might have to edit this out, but it's SH blank T House. Hey, no, you don't have to.
There we go. It's a
really
synonym
good.
for Poop House.
Yeah, poop. Yeah, so IFC just released it, and it's an excellent movie. So that has nothing to do. Well, a turtle dies in that, and a shark dies in this movie. So I guess there's similarities.
Shark dies in this chapter.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they've communicated. Like, do they have a chalkboard?
No, of all the things, no. They're underwater.
Do they have a dry erase board underwater? How are these sharks?
They're swimming down to the bottom and drawing it in the sand like Toothless.
Wow, like in Stargate.
Okay, I haven't seen Stargate.
So that's not a bad. Wait, using its tail?
Yeah, tail or some kind of debris. Lots of sticks and girders and things are going to fall off Aquatica at this point, so yeah.
Oh, so you're saying it would have to spell it out with loose debris, not in the sand, because that would wash away. So it's like doing a Con Air little model with a plan, because they're a bunch of prisoners trying to get away.
They are, yes.
Wow.
Honestly, she has messed with those sharks so much that I wouldn't be surprised that they have already like ascended to like their brain can like telepathically communicate with each other now.
That is the simplest solution, I think. It's good.
Yeah.
Better than a driftwood spelling.
Yeah. How did the shark? What language are they talking in?
Oh gosh.
Where
Well,
did these sharks come from? And are they Spanish? Oh.
good question. So yeah, they're communicating, correct?
Yes,
They
have
have
to be.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a shark language we're not privy to.
Probably.